In this video, let's talk about why Diane Foxington is such an amazing character in the Bad Guys franchise.
You talked marmalade.
Actually, he did most of the talking. I'm more of an action girl.
She's honestly one of my favorite parts of the movies, and it's not just because of her style or the way she carries herself, but also because of her story, her personality, and the choices she makes. First off, Diane is just flat out cool. She's confident, stylish, and sharp, but what really makes her stand out is her past. Before becoming the respected governor that everyone looks up to, she was actually one of the most feared criminals in the world. Back then, she was known as the Crimson Paw, a master thief who could steal anything she set her eyes on without ever being caught. In the criminal underworld, her name was legendary. Everyone knew her, everyone feared her, and everyone respected how good she was at her craft. But what makes her story so inspiring is the fact that she walked away from all of that. At some point, Diane looked at her life and realized she was falling into the same stereotype society labeled her with. That because she's a fox, she must be sly, sneaky, and deceitful. And she didn't want to live like that anymore. Instead of being trapped by people's expectations, she made the decision to change.
I was the best thief in the world. Fast, fearless, inventive. I just had one thing left to steal, but all I saw in the end was the tricky fox that they always told me I was. It changed everything.
She left her criminal past behind and worked hard to become someone new, someone who could actually make a difference in the world. That's how she eventually became governor, someone people could trust and admire. Now, what's interesting is comparing her journey to the journey of the bad guys themselves. Her transformation was easier in a way, because the public never knew her secret past. To everyone, she was just a strong, trustworthy leader. So when she decided to turn good, nobody questioned it. They accepted her as the governor without hesitation. On the other hand, the bad guys had the complete opposite experience. Everyone knew who they were. Everyone recognized them as criminals, and no matter what they did, the world didn't believe they could change.
I mean, going good was the hardest thing that I ever did. And compared to you guys, I had it easy. No one ever knew I was the Crimson Paw.
In the first movie, she plays such an important role because she sees something in the bad guys that nobody else does. She sees their potential. She knows that deep down they can do more than just live up to the labels the world has given them. Diane believes they can actually become good, just like she did when she left her life as the Crimson Paw behind. Honestly, if it weren't for Diane, I don't think Mr. Wolf or the rest of the crew would have even considered changing their ways.
You're doing the right thing. And someday your friends, if they're real friends, I think they'll understand.
That's why she's such an essential character in the first film. She pushes the bad guys to think differently, to challenge how the world sees them, and to believe that they can be more than just criminals. But then we get to the second film, and unfortunately, Diane doesn't have nearly as much of a presence. She barely shows up compared to the first movie. Sure, she has her moments, and the scenes she's in are still good, especially the ones that focus on her connection with Mr. Wolf, but overall, she doesn't play a big role this time around. Still, the moments she does get in the second film are meaningful. One of the most impactful parts is when her past as the Crimson Paw finally comes out. She had worked so hard to keep that side of her life a secret, to bury it under her role as governor. But when the truth is revealed, she can't hide anymore, and it costs her the position she built for herself. That's a huge turning point for her, because it shows that no matter how much you try to escape your past, sometimes it finds a way to catch up with you. By the end of the movie, things take a pretty dramatic turn. The world believes Diane and the bad guys died, but in reality, they faked their deaths and stepped into an entirely new role as secret agents. It's a wild twist, and it sets up a whole new future for them as a team. They're not just former criminals trying to be good anymore, they've actually transformed into heroes working in the shadows. So, to sum up Diane's character across the films, she's amazing because of her personality, her courage, and the way she inspires others, especially Mr. Wolf and his crew, to believe they can change. Her backstory as the Crimson Paw makes her fascinating, but it's her choice to walk away from that life and push for something better that makes her truly inspiring. On top of all that, She's an incredible fighter who can hold her own against anyone. Even when she doesn't get as much screen time, her presence is powerful, and she remains one of the standout characters in the franchise.